hopefully we can get to Indy and beyond this season. I think that's our biggest goal.
Welcome to another episode of Preferred Walk On. I'm your host, Max Chadwick. We've got another interview for you guys today. If you haven't already, check out the series of interviews I've done so far. And next up is Iowa cornerback Cooper DeJean, who was third team All Big Ten this past season. He's arguably the most versatile defensive back in college football. He plays outside corner for Iowa, slot corner, a little bit of safety, a little bit of that cash linebacker, strong side linebacker role as well in that Iowa defense. And also, he was the only corner in the country who had an 85 plus grade both in coverage and as a run defender. He's my number 5 returning cornerback in college football, and he went number 16 overall in my way too early 2024 NFL mock draft. As always, check out the feature article I did on Cooper DeJean over at pff.com, and of course, major thank you to the executive producer of the show, also the head of creative content and communications at PFF, Dave Sofaro, sets up every single one of these interviews, and we've got plenty of superstars still to come as well. But without further ado, here he is, Iowa cornerback Cooper DeJean. Was there like a moment growing up where you knew that, hey, I'm kind of better than everyone else here on the field right now? Maybe a career in football is possible for me.
So actually, like when I got into high school, I thought I was gonna play basketball in college. Um, up until up until my like sophomore years when I really the football thing started to take off for me. Um, I played receiver that year, and then I started to get some interest from some schools like Iowa, Iowa State, and then some other FCS schools and stuff like that. But then I didn't really think much of it until going into my junior year I probably had my best season of high school, and that's when things really started to take off. For me, we won a state title at my high school, the first ever here. So I'd say probably sophomore going into junior year. It's really when I realized that football was going to be my thing.
So I was just going to mention that, man. I mean, not only were you a decorated football player in high school, you're also one of the most versatile athletes probably in Iowa high school history. You excelled in basketball, excelled in track as well. How much do you think those two sports helped you out in football?
Oh, they help a lot. I mean, that's what a lot of kids from around here do. They play a whole bunch of sports just because it's such a small area. And you're able to do those things. But track especially helps with basketball and football. Just being out there, being able to build up your speed, get faster. I did long jump too, so that helped on the basketball court. Jumping wise, um, and then basketball. I mean, they all help each other in one way or another. But basketball, just being able to like move your feet, and part of it's like understanding the game as well, situations, just like in football. So I think they all tie into one another in some way.
So you actually had an opportunity to play quarterback at South Dakota State if you wanted it. What made you want to go to Iowa and play on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I think the biggest reason everybody knows Iowa, they've always had a great defense, and on top of that, a great defensive coordinator and defensive backs coach, and Coach Parker.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big reason. I knew he was going to bring the best out of me, as a player. And then part of it as well was just growing up being an Iowa fan. That's, I mean, a lot of kids if you're from a small town in Iowa, you're an Iowa fan. That's something that you dream of growing up, and that's something that I always wanted to do. I went to games growing up, just dreamed of being out there on the field wearing the black and gold, and that played into it as well.
Yeah, so I was just gonna mention that, man. You grew up like 4 hours away from the University of Iowa. Did you always kind of know, hey, when you got that offer, I'm gonna be a Hawkeye, or were you kind of like considering some other schools too in your recruitment?
Yeah, I think ever since I got the offer, sitting in Coach Ferentz' office, I think it took me like a month or two to commit, but I always knew in my head that Iowa was the place I wanted to be. Just like I said, just growing up a Hawkeye fan in the state of Iowa. I mean, it's everything I dreamed of as a kid.
I love that, man. So your freshman year, spent it mostly playing special teams. What were you kind of focusing on during your first year at Iowa?
During my first year, I was really just trying to earn a role on special teams. Like you said, I played a little bit in the second half of the season
Hmm.
there, and then also just was learning from the guys ahead of me. Like you had Riley Moss, Matt Hankins, Dane Belton, Jack Kerner, Kayvon Merriweather, who was there, Jamari Harris, who's still there, who's still here with me this season. They all helped me a bunch, and I just took in everything I could from them in the film room, on the field, just learning the different techniques. Because as coming in, I never played corner at all, so
Hmm.
I had quite a bit to learn there. So it was nice to have those veteran guys in the room with me, and then just learning. I mean, learning how to adapt to being a college student athlete as well. I think a lot of those guys, not even the guys in my room, just I mean, all my teammates in general, the older guys helped a lot with that. So it was really just trying to figure everything out that first year.
Man, you had more to figure out than I would say most college football players because you play literally everywhere for Iowa. It's almost like dizzying trying to watch your tape, man, because you're lining up all over the place. You play outside corner, slot corner, even strong side linebacker, that cash roll a little bit in the Iowa defense. Do you kind of pride yourself on being a versatile football player? And does it ever get kind of like dizzying for yourself trying to remember all these different assignments that you have on the field?
Yeah, I enjoy playing all the different positions. It was tough. It was a little tough to learn at first. But I mean, I like playing in the box. I like playing in the slot. I like playing outside. I mean, I think being able to be the more versatile I can be, I think it helps the team that much more. Just being able to be plugged in at whatever spot it is that I can play. As far as playing them all at different times and learning the different spots, I think the way our defense works, I think it all works together. So I don't think it gets too confusing at all. Whatever position I'm at, just the way it all understand the whole defense and the way it all works, and that's something that Coach Parker stresses. When you're coming in, he wants us to learn all the positions: the strong safety, free safety, cash, corner, all those positions. So I think that makes it easier as well.
For sure, man. So, is there a specific position though that you enjoy playing the most, and potentially when you get to the NFL, which is probably pretty soon, is there a position that you kind of like to focus on maybe full time later on?
Um, I've got this question a lot, but I mean, I enjoy just being on the football field, and playing wherever they put me. I like covering guys on the outside. Um, but then when you get in the box, that's when I think it gets real fun. You get to be around the ball a lot, and with the big boys. Me at 205 pounds, you kind of got to figure out ways to get around those guys. But I mean, I enjoy playing in the box a lot. At that in the slot at that cash position. Um, but like I said, I mean, I enjoy playing outside as well. So wherever on the football field, I enjoy it.
I love that, man. It's like a versatile chess piece, basically, for Iowa. So, not only are you versatile in the way you line up pre snap, you're also probably the most versatile corner when the ball is actually snapped. You're actually the only corner in the country this last year with 85 plus PFF grades in coverage and as a run defender. What do you think sets you apart from other corners in the run game? Because, obviously corners aren't known for being great run defenders. Here you are as probably the best run defending corner in the country. What do you think of maybe about your mentality or the way you play the run game? What do you think sets you apart in that run game aspect?
I think just wanting to be around the ball and wanting to help our defense be that much better, especially stopping the run. That's something we stress on our defense is stopping the run. So it takes all we know it takes all 11 guys to fly to the ball, and that's something I take pride in is just finding the ball and getting there as fast as possible, and then delivering a blow when I get there. And then you got 10 other guys coming as well, and you know that. So, but I think, I mean, the pass stopping, like I said, stopping the run is a huge part in our defense, and that's something I take pride in. When I see the ball getting run at me, I want to make that play, make that stop, just to make it easier on everybody else. Because I mean, we're as defensive backs, we're dang near the last line of defense, so
Mhm.
you almost have to make that stop. So I think the run defense is something I take pride in, flying downhill, and our whole defense as a whole takes pride in as well.
I love that, man. So I mentioned that all that versatility. Do you feel like you're the best all around defensive back in college football?
Uh, I'm, I'm a pretty humble guy, but I know there's a lot of good defensive backs in the whole country. But I think I still got a lot to improve on. This especially this next season, just my coverage skills, footwork, using my hands a little bit more. Just a ton of stuff that I can improve on, because I know I have to be better than I was last year.
I love that, dude. So, okay, so I put you in my way too early mock draft. I put you in the first round. A ton of other people put you in the first round of their way too early mock drafts too for 2024. What does that mean to you? And is that something that's kind of in the back of your mind already, the 2024 NFL draft?
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about it, but I try not to pay attention to that stuff right now, because obviously I still got a long ways before that comes. You got to focus on this upcoming season, and what I can do in the off season to be ready for that, and to be able to play my best, this on Saturdays in the fall, for the Iowa Hawkeyes, in order to put myself in that position. So I try not to pay too much mind to it, but I do see it a little bit.
Hell yeah, man. I love that. So, is there anyone in the NFL that you love watching on Sunday? Is there anyone in the NFL that you try to model your game after a little bit too?
Yeah, I've recently I've been watching a lot of Pat Surtain from Denver.
Mhm.
I like watching his game a lot. And then I've always liked Tyrann Mathieu. Um, I mean, just the way he plays the game, his intensity, the way he flies to the ball. He was versatile in college. But I think those two guys are really guys that I've been watching, just the way they play the game.
Dude, I love that. Honey Badger comp actually might be good for you, man, because he was a great punt returner. You do a little bit of
Yeah.
that too. I love that, man. So, all right. So, say I'm a fan or an NFL GM or a coach in college or whatever, and I say, Cooper, show me the best play in college from your career so far. What play would you point to that you say, yeah, that was probably the best play I've made so far in my career?
Best play so far in my career. I'd have to, I mean, I'd have to say probably the Rutgers pick six
Yeah.
would have to be mine. Um, we're in man to man with safety help. We had a little double team going on my receiver. He went underneath, so I dropped off and found the I think it was like a deep over coming across the field. The guy covering him was a little bit underneath, so I came over the top and took that one. So I'd say probably that play.
I got to tell you, Coop, Dave Safari, you met before for this call. He literally texted me a couple nights ago. He's like, dude, you got to watch this Rutgers play Coop made. It was unbelievable. So I would agree with you. That would be probably the
Yeah.
play that both he and I would go to too. Okay, so I actually put out a list recently of the top 10 defensive coordinators in college football. For me, Phil Parker, easy choice for number one. What's your relationship like with Coach Parker, and what do you think makes him such an amazing defensive coordinator?
I mean, my relationship, I mean, we have a good relationship. He's a great guy to be around on and off the field. He's just so intense, and he hates losing. He hates giving up an inch on the defensive side of the ball. I think just the way just what he gets out of his players, and what he demands of them. I mean, he wants perfection, and obviously, we know that perfection is. I mean, it's dang near impossible, but that's just something that he wants. He wants from each and every one of his players on the defense. And he stresses that there's always something that each one of us can get better on. No matter how good of a practice you have. Um, but I think just the way he coaches the game, how like I said, how intense he is. I think everybody on our defense, and I mean everybody in the whole football facility loves him. So I think I love playing for him. I know all the other guys do as well.
I love that, man. So the Iowa defense recently had three players taken very highly in the NFL draft. What's your relationship like with Lucas Van Ness, Jack Campbell, Riley Moss, and what do you think each of those guys brings to the next level?
Yeah, starting off with Lucas, I mean, he's just different specimen. I mean, you look at him, he's like, I don't know how much he weighs, but he's got a whole six pack. He's just an athletic freak, crazy strong, powerful, all that. I think everybody knew in our in our facility that he was going to be a big time. He's going to be a big time player at the next level. And then Jack Campbell, he was kind of our heart and soul last year of our whole team, especially the defense. Just the way he leads. Um, he doesn't really talk that much. He's more lead by example, but when there's something that needs to be said, he'll say it. And just the way he plays the game, how intense he is. He flies around with the ball. He hates to give up anything to anybody. And then Riley Moss, obviously I'm a little closer with him than the other two, just because he was in my room.
Mhm.
He's someone I looked up to as a young guy. Um, just the way he comes in every day with a good attitude. He plays the game the right way. He's really skilled. He moves his feet really well. His hips are great. I mean, he's taught me a lot with my technique, as a corner too. And he was a great leader for our room, the past couple of years I've been here.
Love that, man. So do you have any individual goals, and what are your goals for the Iowa Hawkeyes this upcoming season too?
I mean, all my individual goals will be team goals. I just want to help, do my part, on the defense, special teams, however I can help the team. But I think we got a lot of expectations coming into this season. We brought in a bunch of guys, to the transfer portal.
Mhm.
Obviously the big name, Cade McNamara. I think
Right.
he's fit in really well already. He's already a leader in our locker room. So I'm excited for the tight end, and then we got a couple of receivers that came in. But I'm looking forward to it. I think our everybody on our team has taken a bunch of steps forward. Um, we still got some things to work on. Obviously everybody does, going into summer and then fall camp. But hopefully we can get to Indy and beyond this season. I think that's our biggest goal. But obviously that doesn't happen if we don't take it one game at a time. So I think our team's got big goals for the season, but we understand, there's more work to be done yet.
Man, all right, a couple more questions. I appreciate the time, man. It's been amazing. But what is your technique? How does your technique change when you're working an outside corner versus when you're working more in the slot?
Yeah, I think, all of it, you got to understand, the dividers. It's different when you're playing in the slot, versus outside, and just what you want to take away, in certain spots, and where your help is. And if you got safety elbow over the top, we're playing cover zero, cover one,
Mhm.
whatever it is. But the biggest thing is the dividers and where to line up. But I think playing inside is a lot tougher, obviously, because you got more room to work with, over the middle and to the outside as well. But I think it's just made me a better player overall, being able to play inside and outside. The biggest thing is just understanding where your help is and those dividers, like I said.
All right, last question, man. So you mentioned technique between outside and inside. What about man coverage versus zone coverage? And is there a specific one that you maybe like playing more than the other?
Um, I mean, I'm a fan of both, but we play a lot of zone here, which is I like because you can keep your eyes on the quarterback,
Hmm.
and you can always see where the ball is, and it allows you to disguise some things also in playing zone. But I mean, I think just the way our defense works, I mean, it's been the same way for however long. It's I mean, we all like I said earlier, it all works together. But playing our zone defense and being able to disguise things and I feel like it's a lot harder for offenses to figure out what we're doing. And I think that's why makes it so fun for I mean for to play in our defense. And then obviously you got a really aggressive coach, and Coach Parker and blitzing off the edge. That's all fun stuff too. So I mean, I think our zone scheme, I think it all, like I said, I mean, it all goes together, and when it's working, it works pretty well.
Awesome, man. This is a fantastic interview, Cooper. I can't wait to see what you have in store this
Absolutely.
upcoming season, man. But yeah, article should come out soon. The video should come out soon as well. But yeah, man, I really appreciate the time. You're fantastic, man.
I appreciate you.